Alright, so after reading over about half of these, they're all pretty short and straightforward. So let's just talk about them. So first up here we have Bishop. So critical hits against Bishop suffer minus 100% attack. So you're going to deal no damage when you crit. Whenever a bleed effect is inflicted on Bishop, he generates a certain amount of health over a certain amount of seconds and gains a small trickle of power, draining one or more bars of power from Bishop, and a single instant causes him to suffer a certain amount of direct damage. This fight sounds BS, man, depending on the numbers here, but if your crits deal no damage, that's going to suck. But there's a silver lining that if that direct damage is big, then it could be a good fight. If that direct damage better be big, man, because then, you bring in someone who can drain power, and, it's viable. If that's low, this fight is going to be so long, just doing no damage from crits. That's going to really suck, man. Corvus, see a Corvus? Abyss Cable. Critical hits against Cable cause him to gain a dynamo charge. Each of Cable's landed or blocked strikes deal a flat amount of energy damage to the opponent for each dynamo charge. This could be annoying. Cable special 1. I always block one hit of it and evade the rest. So I take some blocked hits against Cable. That could be pretty annoying, man. Depending on the amount of energy damage that is, that's definitely not the worst Abyss ability, but. Alright, Abyss Captain Marvel. I'm assuming this is movie Marvel, because regular Captain Marvel is easy to fight. So of course, Command would pick the harder one. While her opponent is above 1.5 bars of power, Captain Marvel deals an amount of energy damage per second to them. So this sounds like anytime you're above a bar and a half of power, you're going to be taking basically like the opponent would have limbo up, and you're just going to be taking energy damage. So pretty much sounds like you just want to use your special one as soon as you get it. So suicides seem like they won't be a great option here. And then every amount of seconds, both champions gain a 10-second power flood buff, gaining a certain amount of power, or a certain amount of bars of power over that time. So sounds like you're going to be getting a lot of power. So I guess find a champion with a good special one and just keep throwing it. Then we have the Collector, which we already talked about in great detail. It's going to be a scary fight. And then we have Abyss Collobsidian. Collobsidian gains max resistant charge at the beginning of the fight. Additionally, he gains percent buff duration and buff potency for his personal buffs. Whenever one of his buffs is nullified, he also loses a certain amount of max health instantly. So it sounds like you just want to bring a nullifier here, and it's going to be a pretty easy fight. He sounds like the easiest fight so far. Symbiote Supreme would absolutely destroy that Collobsidian. Symbiote Supreme already destroys Collobsidian, and if he loses a percent of max health when his buffs are nullified, dude, oh yeah. Next up, Cyclops. This one sounds pretty crazy. Cyclops can't gain power from landing or taking hits during this fight, but gains 1 bar of power every certain amount of seconds and has a very high chance to launch a special attack. Cyclops has 2 modes, Overcharged mode and Spread Shot mode. He will begin the fight in Spread Shot mode. After launching a special attack, he will switch to the other. And when I first read that, I'm like, okay, that sounds pretty easy. But then I read this first mode. Oh, man. During special attacks, the attacker cannot use the Dexterity Mastery and suffer minus 100% ability accuracy for all evade and auto block effects. However, the attacker's parry mastery provides 100% perfect block chance in this mode, and a successful parry will carry through the entire special attack. I'm assuming this is red Cyclops because he can crit through the block, I think. So if you don't parry this special one in this mode, oh my god, you're going to take so much damage. I hate when they take away the Dexterity Mastery. I really do. Like with Domino, it's stupid. With this, I guess at least you can parry it. And then after he uses especially switches modes. So Overcharged mode, special attacks are unblockable and can't miss. That's fine. That's fine. No problem with that. Guess don't use Ghost and try to phase it because it won't work. But, oh man, you can't use Dex. That's going to be kind of crazy. Depending on how much power gain this is, because remember, he won't generate any power from taking hits, but he gains a bar of power every certain amount of seconds, so it depends on how fast he's really going to be gaining that power. And then so Miner's Note, both Spread Shot and Overcharged mode have callouts, but are not visible buffs, so it seems like it'll be up to you to keep track of what mode he's in. Hopefully Kabam changes that. It just kind of says what mode he's in, so it's going to be kind of annoying to keep track of that in a fight. And then Abyss Deadpool. Deadpool is immune to Petrify and Enervate debuffs. Additionally, Power Drain and Power Burn effects against Deadpool suffer a percentage potency, and Power Lock effects suffer a duration subtraction. They don't last as long. This effect is called Abyssal Bulwark. This is interesting. It gets me excited for my Human Torch because we're going to be reversing that regen, man. If he's only immune to Petrify, that's fine by me, man. Human Torch don't need no Petrify. He's got his Nova Flames and his Incinerate. So even this guy, if this guy shrugs off Incinerates or something, he ain't shrugging off my Nova Flames. Next up, Abyss Green Goblin. Green Goblin has a shield charge which lasts indefinitely, provides the max possible physical resistance, energy resistance, and armor rating. Striking Green Goblin with a critical hit reduces his opponent's attack rating by a percentage for that attack. Oh, I was thinking Corvus when I first read that, but then with crits reduce your attack rating. Interesting. Maybe you just want someone with True Strike, just bypass all that stuff. We got Abyss Ghost Rider up next at the start of the fight, and every certain amount of seconds, Ghost Rider inflicts an Incinerate debuff on his opponent. That's funny because Ghost Rider can inflict Incinerate normally, and he's not even immune to it. Weird. Dealing a certain percent of their max health and damage over a certain amount of seconds. Incinerate also removes perfect block chance and reduces block efficiency by 50%. Okay, that's fine by me. Human Torch is immune to Incinerate, and Ghost Rider is a Mystic, so I'm good. Hood, Abyss Hood. At the start of the fight and every certain amount of seconds, the Hood's opponent is inflicted with a poison and bleed debuff. Ugh. Each dealing a certain amount of their max health and direct damage over a certain amount of seconds, the Hood is also more likely to launch a Special 2 or Special 3 attack. Okay, Ghost will be great for that fight, man. Just keep turning those debuffs into Fury. And you can tank an L3 if needed, no problem. Abyss Howard. Howard begins the fight with a certain amount of passive indestructible effects. Attacks that would be a critical remove one of these effects, and each strike of a heavy attack will as well. Okay, sounds cool. Hulk Ragnarok. Hulk cannot lose more than a certain amount of his more than a percentage of the opponent's base attack in health from a single strike. Okay, it depends on the numbers, see how bad that'll be. Joe Fixit, good old Joe Fixit, man. Every certain amount of seconds, either Joe Fixit will gain a random permanent passive buff or the attacker will gain a random permanent passive debuff. Okay, that could be interesting with Ghost. If you get like a poison or degen or bleed, whatever, you just phase it, turn into a Fury. Striking Joe Fixit with a Special 3 removes all buffs he's gained from his Abyssal ability buff. Oh, that's cool. Striking Joe Fixit with Heavy Attack purifies all debuffs from the attacker as gained from Joe's Fixit Abyssal ability buff. Cool. Joe Fixit is immune to all nullifying Fate Seal effects. Okay, not really going to be bringing a Mystic champ against Joe Fixit anyways, which are the main nullifiers. Okay, doesn't sound too bad. Abyssal Carnac, the dexterity and parry masteries do not function in this fight, and both champions are permanently power locked. The attacker suffers minus 100% attack at the start of the fight, but gains plus attack for each hit of their combo meter. Actually, I like that. That sounds like an interesting fight. You can just bait Carnac's L1, don't have to worry about dexing that. But you won't be able to parry. That sounds like an interesting fight. I like that. I like the sound of that fight. Abyss Loki. Standing near Loki constantly drains the opponent's power. If the attacker stays at 0 power for more than 2 or a certain amount of seconds, they take a massive burst of direct damage equal to a percentage of their max health. Okay. Interesting. So don't stay at 0 power. Abyss Luke Cage. Every certain amount of seconds, Luke Cage gains an unstoppable and an unblockable buff, each lasting until he is successfully intercepted. Okay, that's interesting, I guess. Ghost would actually be pretty good for that. Yeah, you can just phase intercept with Ghost, get rid of those. Okay. Abyss Massacre. If either champion lands an attack, they inflict a Fracture Charge on their opponent. Fracture Charge is reduced block efficiency by a certain amount and can eventually invert the blocking damage reduction. Massacre is indestructible while he isn't blocking. While his opponent is blocking, Massacre fights very aggressively. While he is blocking, attacks against Massacre gain a certain amount of attack. Huh. Interesting. So, this is going to be a very interesting fight, man. You're going to want to stack up those Fracture Charges on the opponent, and then you can start reversing their block proficiency. Because that sounds like a very interesting fight there. I'm excited for some of these fights, man. I'm excited for everything except that collector, but I am excited for him too. To just see how mad I'm gonna get. And that fight. Abyss Morningstar. Every something hit on the attacker's combo meter must be a heavy attack. If it isn't, Morningstar gains a passive unstoppable effect for a certain amount of seconds. Okay, interesting. Abyss Old Man Logan. Old Man Logan's healing factor now allows him to regenerate an additional amount of health per second. He is also now immune to heal block debuffs. Doesn't say anything about Human Torch's Nova Flames. Or even like Void Petrifies. Yeah. Okay. Abyss 29. Punisher's opponents suffer -% of attack as long as they have 2 or fewer unique buffs. 2 or fewer. So you want to have buffs on this fight. Okay, interesting. Abyss Quake. Quake constantly builds up an earthquake meter throughout the fight, and when the earthquake meter hits a certain amount, the attacker is instantly knocked out. Striking Quake with a critical hit reduces her earthquake meter by a certain amount. Inflicting a bleed debuff on Quake reduces her earthquake meter by a certain amount. This has a HUD icon that displays the information in fight. Okay, that's interesting. So I guess you want to bring a bleeder or someone who has a high crit rate to reduce those. Interesting, man. Depends on like how long it takes to get to that point where she can just knock out the opponent, and it depends on what doing a crit and applying a bleed will take off. Sounds like an interesting fight though. Abyss Red Skull. Well, Red Skull remains below 1 bar of power. Attacks against him suffer a certain amount of attack, while below 2 bars of power, attacks instead suffer a certain amount of attack. While above 2 bars of power, wait, what? While above 2 bars of power, attacks instead. Maybe this was it meant to be in there? Yeah, okay. I think maybe that was just a entered sentence. But okay, so while above 2 bars of power, attacks instead gain plus attack. That makes sense. That made no sense when I first read it. Okay, so below bar of power, you're getting. Wait, no. That makes sense. Yeah, well below a bar of power, you lose attack. Well below 2 bars of power, you lose attack. But well above 2 bars of power, you gain attack. Okay, never mind. I that had me so confused without the real values. Okay, gotcha. So until you get him to above 2 bars of power, you're gonna have reduced damage. Gotcha. Okay, Abyss Supreme. Striking Symbiote Supreme with a critical hit grants him a mana burn charge. When he hits 20 charges, they are all removed, and he gains a power flood effect, granting a certain amount of bars of power over a certain amount of seconds. While the power flood effect from above is active, the attacker takes direct damage per second unless Symbiote Supreme is power locked. Huh. Interesting. Is there a way to get rid of those mana burn charges? It doesn't say. Interesting. So you might want to be bringing a power locker here. Magic would probably be pretty good for this fight. But I don't have her. Abyss Taskmaster. Taskmaster has a 100% perfect block chance, and basic attacks against him suffer a certain amount of attack. During special attacks, the attacker gains a prowess buff, increasing their special attack by a certain amount for each hit on a combo meter. Ooh, that sounds fun. Kind of like a what is that node where your special attacks only deal damage? Sounds like kind of one of those. The more you build up your combo, the more your special attacks damage is going to be. That sounds like an interesting fight. Abyss Thor Ragnarok. Debuffs on Thor activate Power Flood, granting a certain percent of max power per second in special attacks, a 100% chance to be unblockable. Okay, interesting. Venom the Duck. Venom the Duck gains max precision charge at the beginning of the fight. Additionally, whenever he launches any special attack, he activates all his buffs in the RNA bank, and he will never activate regeneration buffs. While Venom the Duck has at least one of his RNA bank buffs active, he fights very erratically. Huh. I wonder what that means, erratically. That doesn't mean aggressive or passive, just erratic. Maybe he'll just fight like a crazy person, just swipe. You know, I don't know. That sounds interesting. I want to fight an erratic opponent. Abyss Venom Pool. Random declarations. Every certain amount of seconds, Deadpool, I guess they mean Venom Pool, will become bored and make a random declaration, altering the fight for a random amount of time. Oh no, I guess, yeah, they mean the Deadpool in the Venom Pool. I get it. So, altering the fight for a random amount of time. Dance Fever. Deadpool is set to 2 bars of power over and over and has a high chance to launch special 2. Okay. Opposite day, the attacker's controls are reversed. No. And Slap Happy. Venompool is set to 1 bar of power over and over and has a high chance to launch special 1. If Venompool is able to finish his fiery dance moves, then the attacker gains an Incinerate debuff from the intense heat, dealing 999999 damage over 3 seconds. Burn, baby, burn. Special attacks are all unblockable except on opposite day. Okay, that sounds crazy. Oh god. Also, Abyss Yellow Jacket. While above 2 bars of power, Yellow Jacket is power locked. He has a high chance to launch special attacks each time he does so. He gains an efficiency charge, which refunds a certain percentage of the cost of all special attacks for the remainder of the fight. Ooh. Special 1 attack is unblockable and has a certain percent chance per hit to inflict a second passive power sting. A champion with power sting takes direct damage when activating special attack. Special attack 2 launching this attack inflicts the opponent with a passive power sting for a certain amount of seconds. A champion with power sting takes direct damage when activating a special attack. Okay. So as long as... I hope these aren't... They apply even if you dexterity. Like even if you dexterity a special 1, it still applies a passive power sting to you. I hope it's not like that. And if it's, as long as it's not like that, it shouldn't be too bad. But wow, a lot of crazy fights in here. I think I'm actually just gonna separate this video from the collector video because this is a long video. I guess I'll just make it into 2 videos. But wow, there's a lot of stuff going on in here, man. A lot of crazy fights. And wait, let me count quick how many fights we have in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So this is only 28 champions listed, and I'm pretty sure Kabam said they're like 68 or something like that. So like 40. This is only like a third of the potential champions in here. So it sounds like this sounds like insane, man. It sounds like it's gonna be bigger than Labyrinth. I don't know. There's definitely not 68 champs in Labyrinth. I don't know the exact amount, but that does not sound. I think there's like less than 40 for sure. Probably even less than that. So this is gonna be absolutely insane. Wow, I am extremely excited for this and a little bit scared. I have not been scared of any content since Labyrinth, really. So like this. This actually sounds like very challenging. Like the only we haven't had a challenge like this since like dude, this is crazy. Like this isn't gonna be something I can just 100% on day 1. You know, like this I won't be able to do that. No, I don't think anyone will be able to do that if it's the health pools I'm thinking of. It's probably gonna take like a long time to do. But I am just so excited, man. Let me know what you guys think. Which champion are you most excited to fight? And which champion are you most scared to fight? Aside from the collector, because we're all scared to fight the collector. Which fight that we went over today in this video are you most excited for and most scared to fight? Let me know what you guys think. Drop a like if you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Subscribe if you like to see more content. I'm so excited to do this quest, guys. You know, we're going to have a guide on a lot of this content, man, and we'll be streaming it. It's gonna be a lot of fun, man. I want to say like I want to be one of the first people to do it 100%, but I don't even want to say that because I don't know if I'll even be able to, man. I don't want to make some promises I can't keep, but I'm gonna be trying my best, guys. So I'm excited for this. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out.